Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks everyone for coming tonight. Appreciate the input. Let's introduce start down here.
Oh, Mary Wood, Recording Secretary.
Matt Miller, Trustee.
Hoard, Chair.
Patricia Dunn, Vice Chair.
Sheri, Vanwyck, Secretary.
Tammy, Higgins, Member.
Then we'll get a chance to go through the January meeting minutes.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve January's meeting minutes.
I'll second those.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's do the, take a look at the agenda, approval of the agenda.
I motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye. Is it
Yeah, we approved the agenda.
First, Sheri.
It's Tammy and Sheri. Okay, it's been a month. We have first call to the public. Anybody have any comments before we get started?
So in speaking with our friends from Howell Township, they've also been interested in how we're going to be looking at data center ordinances and things of that nature. They have a group that they've affectionately called themselves the Howell Township Resident Research Committee. And so they just recently, within the last couple days, submitted their draft ordinance regarding data centers to Howell Township, chock full of research. They were told it needed to have research findings in there. They sent it to me as a copy. If I may give you guys a copy on this, and I'm happy to email it as well.
Absolutely.
I would have printed it off, except I'm almost out of ink. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
It's got a lot of information, and they would like to relate to this PC. Please use their work that they've done, because they've done a lot of deep research on that.
Thanks for that. That's it. Probably going to be real helpful.
Yeah.
We're all putting our heads together.
We are, and that's what we're trying to do, is bring communities together so we're not all spinning wheels differently on that. So I appreciate that.
Anyone else? You have any comments in the beginning here?
I do.
Well, you, yeah.
Yeah. I just want to let people know, I have two petitions with me today. One is for the citizens to vote. It's getting on the ballot for citizenship, and the other is Tom Barrett to collect signatures so he can run again. So if anybody's interested, see me after the meeting.
Thank you. You're going to wait around after the meeting?
Yes, I will.
Anyone else? Right, thanks for those.
Can I, please?
Oh, sure.
My issue is just a little bit.
See ya.
My name is Richard Fritz. I'm on Coon Lake Road, and my wife and I, we're pretty regular visitors out to the conservation park on Roberts Road. And a few years back, I had asked if the township could help with the cost to mow the trails, because it was a little bit difficult to walk. We were just out there today, and I don't know if it's possible. I told her I would bring it up with all the snow. Well, now that it's thawing away and going away, but if it would be possible for the township to assist with plowing those trails, if we get 3 or 4 inches of snow. It is a little bit difficult to walk out there, a little slippery at times, so it's just a small suggestion.
Well, I appreciate the comment on that. That's I would recommend to go to the board meeting, the next board meeting, and bring that up.
I can do that.
And when it comes to spending money and doing those things, it's a board decision on that. But
Understood. I haven't talked to Clark or
it's
anybody.
a great
I was just
suggestion.
today.
And I was just out there, and I agree with you. It needs something, and it's not maintained very well. It's a nice park.
Yes, it is. All right, thank you.
Yep. Okay, anyone else? Put my glasses on. Okay, do we have any Next item, is there any communications from any of the board members here, questions that we have? I have some, it's from our planner, we're going to bring it up on the agenda. Talk about it. Okay. Okay, I had added under new business, I wanted to talk about the protocol for the public comments, when we go further. And by that I mean, when we have these issues, we have a lot of people in here talking, and it's great, we have a lot of input, but what I feel is missing, it would be all our decision, is I would like to ask the people talking to state their name and their address for us, so that I know our residents from our non-residents, not that they don't mean as much, but I'm here for all you, for the residents first. So I'd like to know who's talking and where that's coming from, especially when we have people that are in near proximity to a development, let's say. I'd like to know who you are. You're right on that borderline. We really do care about you. And so I would love to go forward to just make the announcement before the comments that the public would leave their name and address. How do you guys feel about that?
You're saying for them just to say their name and address?
Yeah,
not
so
to
you
sign
stand up and
anything.
say, I'm Al Hoard, 7317 West Connect Road, here's my comment.
Okay.
Just be something like that so we know who they are.
I don't think anybody
Yeah.
would object.
I'm fine with that, I think it's a good idea, except for I would rather people not have to put their numerical address. They could say, I'm a resident of Iosco Township and name the street, just because if someone has a opposing viewpoint, they might not want their address out there for the others to come harass them, whatever the, either side.
All they gotta do is go.
Well, maybe, but you never know, it might
Yeah,
make some
yeah.
people feel safer.
Yep.
That's the only thing that comes to my head.
Okay, no, good point. Right. You all right with it, Sheri?
Yeah. I guess I could go either way, the house number or no number. But yeah, I think that's a good idea.
But you're stating your name anyways in the street you live on.
Right.
And that you're in the township, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So that you're a resident of the township.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
Yep, I'm not sure exactly either way with the address, we can look at point with that. Nowadays, you just don't know.
Yeah.
So, and if they are lying, I'm sure someone in the crowd will wait, you live across the street here.
Yeah, and it just helps when I hear the comments personally that I kind of know you're a resident or a non-resident. We got a lot of comments that come from outside of the township. I don't want to count them down, but
Residents number one.
I do want to know who it is from our township that's commenting on this stuff. Okay. I don't think we have to vote on that. I think it's just a protocol discussion.
And the sign-up sheet too, like, that would tell you a lot of times who.
Yeah, who's here? Yeah.
And
Not
they
necessarily
would write their
count.
address down most of the time. And then that would just be us seeing it, not.
How do you feel, Ann? You good with that?
I'm fine with street name.
Okay. Okay, I think we'll start next meeting, and ask people to give their names out. I think that's a proud one. Thank you, guys. Okay, we're going to unfinished business. We got 2 items on that, which are of interest. Last month, we talked about both these items, and you sent me back with a little homework in regards to the master plan. I'd like to talk about the master plan first. I had considerable conversations with Mark and our planner, and he explained the process very well. We have not even begun the process yet for it, so we are in a position where we have to decide, do we want to start the process? There's attachments I gave you, the copies. Mark has spelled out a process for beginning the master plan. And he has also given us a sample of a letter that has process. The very first step in the process has to be that the township sends a letter to all adjoining townships, counties, other entities, railroads, and we have to indicate our intention to amend or to look at our master plan, is what we have to do. So that would be the very first step that we would take. We have the sample letter, so we would have to put that together. You guys just read through it. We would also have to go to the board or Matt, you could do it, but we have to make sure the board's okay with us sending this public notice out, and we're going to start our process. It's the very first step in it.
I have a question with that.
Yep.
Since we have a current master plan, are we really initiating a new one? Or are we just amending what we have?
No, this is to do any kind of amendments to it. Tammy, jump in too, so you can through this already. But to do the amendments, and we're not saying we're going to make amendments. We're saying that we're going to take a look and review our master plan as it stands. We've already said, hey, there's some timing, the census was post-dated, on and on. We wanted to make it more current.
Right.
Which was a nice start. But the very first thing to really make it official is to send these letters of intent out to the other communities. And then we have heavy lifting to do, because then we have, if you read through this, it gives us the items that we're going to go through and make decisions on and see how we're going to do it. And it includes also a survey. I think that has to happen. There's a whole list of protocols we got to go through. Tammy?
Well, I mean, I think we reviewed it. Okay, we reviewed it, but now with that review that we did, we got to decide, are we going to just do the amendments, or are we going to do a bigger overhaul, which would include the public input? That's how I understood it, and then yes,
Okay.
if we're gonna, I think even if we were just to do the little amendments, like let's say we didn't do the public input, pretend we went that route, we would still have to send that letter to all the other entities to say that we're updating it.
Yep.
I think the letter is for the updating, not so much the review.
It's,
So we're gonna update it, and we have to decide, are we gonna update it as just the census and the stuff, or are we gonna, was there, like I said, what were the substantive changes that, are big? And or if we don't think, I don't, my opinion is I don't think we found a major big things wrong. That we couldn't just say, yeah, Mark, take all that review that we did and put it in and update it and that will be the new master plan. But I don't think the public wants that. I think, was it November? They said they wanted public input. So we have to do there's different ways of doing that there, and he's laid that out again.
Yeah.
There's just surveys, there's, which you can see, Mark says you're not gonna get as much out of that than if you did the whole workshop thing.
or the mail-in, as he's describing here, the mail-in questionnaire and the survey is the one that is the broadest scope, and you get the best idea of answers.
Does that mail-in give you an online option as well? Or is it-
There is, but it's not, as he said, there's not a history of that producing as good of information from all the public as if you do a mail-in, mail-out survey. So we have a lot to talk about, and we have to talk about it, with the board's going to be there. But we also have another, a huge monkey in the room, kind of a gorilla in the room. The next item we're going to talk about is the data centers and the changing zoning landscape out there that we're looking at. Our ordinance, we talked about those changes without even talking about data center, because it wasn't hitting us. They weren't putting those up. They came so fast. So
But I don't think a master plan is good, and I think Mark talked to us about that too. It's not gonna just we're not gonna put in there, oh, we're banning data centers. I mean, I know that's what everyone wants, but you're gonna, the master plan is kind of like your vision. We can still put the data centers in our zoning ordinance and still do public input on the master plan.
But don't
Because
you,
remember, he sent us those questions, like you have to have thoughtful questions.
right.
They'll pull out information from people, like what they want.
But
So
don't
if
you
we did the mail-in questions for snail mail, we want to make sure, and we can run them by Mark, because he's there for us till, you know, however we're going to choose to do that, if we're going to hire somebody to help us do that.
And he's recommending that, he doesn't want to do this, he's recommending that you help us
Okay,
find a firm or.
to help us
individual
implement this, and
To implement this project.
whichever one we choose.
Yes. And so it's going to wind up
I figured that's not.
being a bigger discussion with the board and stuff about who we're going to have for consultant, what will be.
Yeah.
But, any other thoughts? I know I just threw this at you guys. I'd like you to digest the process a little and then come up with a real discussion next month and talk about, make a decision on how we want to go forward with this thing. As far as reading this document from Mark and getting digested a little bit, there's a lot in it. And I feel personally that we're in good hands as far as that process goes, and it is. As everyone else knows, this is a long process. They will not let us do it quick. It can't happen, but we're going to move as fast as we can, as practical. I don't want to waste any time with it. Again, I know what you're saying about the ordinance and the data centers, but I'm also love to bring that into a conversation with this whole process.
It can be brought into the conversation. It will probably be brought into the conversation when we do the public's input.
So, anyone else? Is there any more comments on this? It's going to take just a little reading. I think it's a clear process for us, though. No further discussion on that. Let's move to the data center general discussion. We had brought up last month that we saw them popping up and we thought there was a time to start talking about data centers. And it was. And there is a conference on the 17th of this month that's put on by MTA that Mark is very interested in. I recommend it.
I'm already signed up.
Okay, good.
That was the 19th or?
It's the 18th of February.
Yeah, he told me the 17th, but I think they have.
It's the 18th.
Yeah, it's the 18th.
And if you can't make the live time, because I'm not gonna probably be able to make the live time because I'll be at work. They said if you don't do anything, because everyone already registered, they'll just send you an email link and then you can just view it as a webinar, at your own time.
Yep. And I think it's important for us to kind of get our eyes on it. Mark had indicated that he could start putting together a process for looking at our ordinance for the data centers and to see where we are with it or we aren't, or what we need. We know we don't have anything, as Ann indicated, that really goes to those anyways right now. So he said he could put that together. He felt that after this conference, we're all going to have a better idea of the process that we may want to go into, what an ordinance may look at. And the Livingston County ordinance, that's awesome. Take a look at that stuff. But I think on that subject, we should see what MTA and what the pros there have to say about zoning ordinances on that. And then Mark is going to further with us some comments about the process of what he's feeling on that and what that would look like. I wanted to know from him to get him involved in it, what we're looking at for the whole process. And he's going to want us to get another consultant together on it, but he's going to sit through this meeting, he's going to put this together. He said you might not need a really big review if this thing lays it out, and we can, with the consultant, put it together as this, he doesn't have to do all the research, he said he could do that pretty quick for us. It depends on how this thing goes at that conference. So a lot of these, they talk them up and you go there and there's just no content on them, so I don't know how this is going to go.
So are you saying he said he wants to attend this
Yeah, he is.
web thing before he would do a draft, a draft ordinance? I mean, a draft is just a draft, and then we would look it over and see if it,
Yeah,
okay.
so he wants to go to this thing first.
Before he does a draft.
He's going to, because he would have to do some heavy lifting to
Yeah,
put
no, I
together a
understand.
draft. He said this would make it easier for him probably, is what he was saying. So he recommended we wait until we get through this.
Now, would he do it, or he would do it in conjunction with another?
Well, it just depends. If this thing gives us enough guidelines for him to put it together without
Okay.
spending all that time, amen. And we'll have something to look at. If we have to craft a new ordinance from the start on it, who knows? It might be an outside consultant or someone. But right now, Mark's willing to take this on if we, after this conference, he feels he'll be better prepared to do that. So, Andy, got any comments on this stuff? You good?
No, I will be watching that on the 18th as well.
Me too, yeah.
So I think between that, what the county has sent, and then what Debbie has submitted, I think we should all take that into account and go from there.
I
There's
agree.
no sense Mark recreating the wheel. He wouldn't have time before that class anyway.
That's what I said, let's just take a deep breath, get through this thing.
Exactly. I do want to reiterate on the master plan though, while I'm talking. The planning commission needs to decide on the survey. You guys have got to come up with who you want to do that survey. The township board's not gonna do that for you. You gotta have a plan in place, plan A or plan B in place for the township board to analyze and decide, how the taxpayers' money is gonna be best spent. They are not gonna come up with that person for you.
Okay, yeah, and that's part of this process as we go forward, we're gonna wind up with that, having to make that decision.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna have some work in front of us. Matt, anyone else to follow up on that before we get out of the data centers? No? Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next item, the Township Board report.
The Precinct 2 voting will now be held at the Mason Road Baptist Church, which is at the intersection of Nixon Road, as I'm sure everyone knows. Township Board accepted the amended master deeds for Arcadia Estates. The board would like to see some options for the public input portion of the survey for the master plan, to go off of what Ann said. And then the Township Board, we have more discussions on moratorium requests in further detail in the next meeting. And that's all I have. Yeah, send over some options next time when we get to that point that I can present the board with for the public input survey.
Okay, yeah, we can do that, we're a little ways away from that survey, we're a little ways out from that, but yeah, we'll talk about it and see what we think about those options. I got a good idea what I'd like, but there's only one here.
Did you ever contact the county? Remember when I talked to the county about possibly being, and Mark said that they could be a facilitator, because they just went through that?
Yeah, they did, I didn't get a copy, I'm glad Patty brought it. That's from the county, that is what you brought, yeah,
Their master plan?
no, not the master plan, the letter of intent is what we got, or the
ordinance for the data center?
Yeah,
Davison.
yeah, for data centers. But I didn't talk to him about the master plan at all.
Yeah, I mean, Rob Stanford's our contact.
Rob
Or-
Stanford.
Yeah, or you can, there's Martha Haglund, this is who I spoke to.
Okay.
And Scott Barb is the director guy. All of their numbers can be, I can,
He's planning, right? He's in the planning department. or Rob
yeah,
Stanford.
he's a principal planner.
Okay.
But you can find their phone, I got some of their phone numbers, I can give them, just forward
It's
to you.
public, isn't it? I can go
Yeah,
right
you can go on the website,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I got it.
mylivecounty.com.org.
Okay. Zoning administrator.
I have nothing, nobody has asked for a permit this year.
So you didn't give us anything?
It's federal.
Got nothing. I know, normally somebody's like chomping at the bit to get their permit, but not this year.
It's too cold.
You got 2 new ones going up.
Yeah, we got a couple from last year still going up, but nothing for this year yet.
Okay. No reports, but you're
And no
boring.
ZBA either. I like boring.
No zoning board of appeals, you guys know I'm arguing with you? Okay. Second call to the public. Are there any more comments coming to the public today? Some of the stuff we talked about. Correct?
Hey, I was just wondering, are you going to still continue to move towards a moratorium on the data center so you can get some lead time that'll allow you to kind of do it and at the same time give you a bit of protection?
Yeah, we discussed that at the last meeting as far as a moratorium, and that's a board decision to do that. Our role here is going to be try to get the ordinance reviewed and make sure we're in the best position possible if one of those developments come here. So the board knows where we're at with it. I think they've been discussing, I'm sure. I don't know, but they would then place the moratorium if they felt, I'm sure they're going to talk to legal before they do that or any of that stuff, but it's in their hands right now.
I thought they were looking for you guys to do something. I could be wrong.
Well, we mentioned it, and I don't know if we should,
I thought they were looking for something more formal.
push the issue of a moratorium.
Well, there'll
From
be
here.
more discussion at Thursday's meeting, and like you said, they're gonna seek legal advice first from the legal counsel before they're
Okay.
gonna get further steps.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Data centers, master plans. Okay. You got a TV show you want to get home for? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
We'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting, 7:28.
I'll second.
Got it. Got through it.